Well, welcome to another day, everybody, where JD Vance comes in his pants simply from laying on a couch.
You a messy little bastard.
Speaking of messy, we've got a relationship going on in the world that's getting a bit messy, and that's between Ronald Gump and Poodler. Because we got a little thing going on here. Russia has come out and warned that strikes against Iran's nuclear infrastructure would have catastrophic consequences after President Ronald Gump threatened to bomb Iran unless it came to an agreement with Washington on the nuclear program. Threats are indeed being heard. Ultimatums are also being heard. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Rubmyov told the Russian journal International Affairs in an interview, and the extracts were published today. We consider such methods inappropriate. We condemn them. We consider them a way for the U.S. to impose its own will on the Iranian side. So the Kremlin has offered to mediate.
Oh,
bless them for trying. Jesus Christ, right? And they say they'll step in and mediate between Trump and Iran. And, they just signed that whole partnership treaty in January, right? The Iranians and the orcs. So Trump, in his first remarks since Iran rejected negotiations, had told NBC News over the weekend that Tehran could face bombing and secondary tariffs if it did not reach the agreement. And he said, this was the quote, "If they don't make a deal, there will be bombing. It will be bombing the likes of which they have never seen before." Right?
The president of peace.
Yeah. So now get this, though. So during his first term to screwing things up, Trump withdrew the U.S. from a 2015 deal between Iran and world powers that placed strict limits on Tehran's disputed nuclear activities in exchange for sanctions relief. But since then, Iran has far surpassed that deal's limits on uranium enrichment. Now, Iran says it needs it for nuclear energy, but I mean, come on, right? I have no idea, but I can only imagine. So once again, you remember how Trump wouldn't sign that one thing that he created so he could have a talking point in the election? Well, Trump bowed out of this one, and look what happened. So he says here, the Russian Rubmyov guy, he says the consequences of this, especially if the strikes are on nuclear infrastructure, will be catastrophic. While there's still time and the train has not left the station, we need to redouble our efforts to try to reach an agreement that's reasonable. And then they reiterated that they will offer mediation services. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine a Russian mediator? He shows up with two knives. Sit and be quiet.
Yes, it's the window. Stand next to it and just agree to everything that we say.
Oh, you can't make this up. So Trump thinks he's all buddy-buddy with Poodler, and yet Poodler's people are already saying, you don't go around bombing our friends, asshole. So I can't wait for the reality to hit Trump that he doesn't have Poodler's respect. I can't wait for this to happen and see what, transpires.
I have no idea. I just can't imagine what's going on inside that little weasel's head.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine
he's clashing together.
Trump will get so mad that he'll probably turn and actually support Zelensky like he should have been doing since the beginning, just to screw with Trump. This could actually work out. Who knows?
I don't know. He'll just put tariffs on Russian exports again.
Oh, I bet.
2,000,000%.
Yeah, he'll go from, hey, we're going to open up trade again to, no, screw you. Right? This is going to be weird to see play out. I can't wait.
Mr. President, we're not actually importing any Russian cars.
Yeah. There hasn't been a running ladder in America for 30 years, dude. I mean, So what's going on here?
Well, yeah, talking about tariffs, but this is Canadians' tariff retaliations as the US imposed their sweeping tariffs on Canadian imports. Canada is hitting back with a bit more of a surgical approach, slapping 25% tariffs on over 6,200 US products. Some of those in that list are flamethrowers, false beards, church bell cases, live monkeys, passenger drones, whatever passenger drones are, and manatee meat. Yes, actually meat from manatees. I didn't even know that was a thing. Lots of other things. Yeah, emus and other birds, decoy birds, explosive bird scaring devices, tuned handbells, asbestos and clothing made from asbestos fibers. That doesn't sound very nice.
That's no. That you wear clothing to keep you safe from asbestos fibers. That makes no sense.
They should be giving those out free. Yeah. Asbestos underpants. Yeah, God, the list is just, satellite, spacecraft, and spacecraft safety glass. Bovine semen and the tubes, pipes, and hoses are used for storing it. Yeah, you're not getting that free. Snuff, rolling papers, and tobacco pipes, accordions, and accordion parts.
Don't fuck with the rollies, asshole.
Oh no, you're all right. You're on the right side of the border. Yeah. Diaries, encyclopedias, and sample books of textile wall coverings. These have all been slapped with tariffs.
But how many Color Your World stores are there that need sample books of textiles or whatever? I mean, what is that? 75 of them? I mean, what?
This is an amazing one that they're slapping a tariff on. This is the last one I'm going to read out. Traveling circuses and menageries.
Be more applicable to your area with the gypsies and stuff, right? Wouldn't it?
I know. How many traveling circuses are there in Canada?
I've never seen one, and I've lived everywhere.
Oh dear. Yeah. So watch it, Trump. These tariffs are coming, and you're not going to like it. No more manatee meat for you.
Dear God, what? I mean, how many of the steaks could go? It's weird. That's screwed up. So let's see here. This lady here, why is my picture in the wrong place, you stupid thing? There we go. This is, what's her name there? Where's her damn name? It's somewhere on the page. We'll come up to it in a minute. But she's the leader of the EU there, or one of the big spokespeople for it. And she says that Europe has a strong plan for striking back at the United States in response to Ronald Gump's tariff hikes. So you know how Trump's been promoting tomorrow, April 2nd, as Liberation Day. Just give me the goat again. A number of hefty tariffs are kicking in, right? Well, Europe has not started this confrontation. This is von der Leyen. That's her name. There we go. Yeah, head of the European Union. She said this in a speech here. We do not necessarily want to retaliate, but if it's necessary, we have a very strong plan to retaliate, and we will use it, right? So on Monday, yesterday there, White House Press Secretary Caroline Novak said Trump would reveal his tariff plan in a press conference on Monday. Now, she didn't provide any details about what's coming, but suggested, as Trump has said repeatedly, that the president could also unveil reciprocal tariff, matching other countries' tariffs dollar for dollar. Right? So here's more from von der Leyen there. We will approach the negotiations from a position of strength. And then I love this line. Europe holds a lot of cards. Using Trump's thing against him, right? Yeah. Exactly. And she goes like, from trade to technology to the size of our market, she continued, we got a lot of cards. But this strength is also built on our readiness to take firm countermeasures if necessary. All instruments are on the table. So there's just everywhere you turn, everywhere you look right now, people are just on and on and on about Trump and his damn tariff war that's going on everywhere. Yeah. And when is it going to sink into this blithering idiot's head that every single person in America is going to lose because of his actions? Well, the very few at the top won't lose in the overall, but everybody else is screwed. The European Commission is also a powerful regulator that has not hesitated to hit big U.S. tech companies with heavy fines and other bills in the past. And this is not lost on Trump, who in February released an executive action threatened to take aim at countries that levy unfair fines and penalties against American innovators. The proclamation labeled such regulation overseas extortion and threatened higher tariffs in retaliation. Now, if Mark Zuckerberg's Meta or some other American-based company gets in trouble for privacy concerns or something along those lines, and the European Commission doles out a big fine. If Trump steps up and starts going tariff, you can't do that. Now he's going against the actual rule of law and thinking that he can tell other people how to run theirs. This is going to get really ugly if he keeps his mouth up. Unbelievable.
Yes,
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's just there was that fake headline that went around today on social media that he had died from a heart attack. Oh, Jesus.
Don't do that to us April Fools. That's not fair.
Oh, man.
PJ in the chat says, "Oh, he's just doing it for views." Yeah, it's all fake stories. Yeah, it could be called the clickbait president because he just gets lots of views for all the shit he comes out of his mouth.
He's gonna walk into the UN and start telling people they're fired. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So where are you up next here? What is this? What's going on here?
This is this 18-year-old woman named Yang has been living in a company toilet for just 50 yuan, which is about $7 per month, due to unaffordable rent in China. Yeah, it's because originally from a rural family in the Hubei province, Yang works in sales at a furniture store, earning 2,700 yuan a month, which is only about $370, way below the city's average of about $1,000 a month. That's still not a lot, but with the local rents, going from $800 to $110 to like $250. That's how much the rent is. She's got nothing left, to pay for normal stuff. So she's had no choice but to move into an office bathroom.
Wow.
Her 6 square meter living space contains 2 squat toilets and a sink. And she has made the space livable by adding a folding bed, a small cooking pot, a clothes rack, and a curtain for privacy. Oh my God, people going in there sitting. Going to sleep.
Imagine.
So Yang cleans the space daily, occasionally cooks noodles at night, not in the toilet, I hope, and insists that it remains clean and odor-free due to the company's 24-hour surveillance. She's had a hard life, her parents left when she was a baby, leaving her to be raised. Well, they left to go to work, somewhere else. They left her to be raised by strict grandparents. And her younger brother was a favorite, and she was expected to do heavy chores and face frequent scolding, and even supporting her younger brother's education.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's living in her boss's toilet.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is going to happen to a lot of people, I think, in the future.
America, start listening.
It just highlights, the challenges of poverty of the youth and financial independence in China's rapidly growing cities. I don't think it's just China. I think it's going to be quite a global issue that we're seeing it here in China in stark images. But I think it's going to come to all of us.
Oh, well, definitely,
kids, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, if I had Felix late. But even still, if I had been much older, I'd have been considering, do I want to bring kids into the mess we have right now? He's a teenager, so, it's not like I'm going to shoot him. You know what I mean?
Could have sold him to all those traveling circuses in Canada.
Exactly. Well, if only there was one.
Maybe we should start one.
Yeah. Felix, do you want to lead a traveling? Never mind.
He'd love it. Love it.
But this ties in perfectly. Massive wave of job cuts going underway at U.S. health agencies today. Some of the employees receiving early morning emails saying their jobs were eliminated and some unable to access the building when they arrived at work. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said last week that 10,000 full-time employees would be cut from thousands on top of thousands who had already left, and probationary employees that are currently on leave as well. He said the changes would make fighting chronic disease the priority and reduce bureaucratic sprawl. Kennedy promised the department would do more than less. How they keep saying that they're doing this for our benefit and, oh, your tax dollars are being wasted and all of this crap. Let's dig into this just a little bit more here. So here's a quote from one U.S. FDA administration employee. It's a bloodbath. These cuts to agency experts and programs leave our country far less safe, less prepared, and without the necessary talent and resources to respond to health threats. Dr. Mandy Cohen, director of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention during the Biden administration. Another former commissioner, Dr. Robert Califf, said the FDA as we know it is finished, with most of the leaders with institutional knowledge and a deep understanding of product development and safety no longer employed. Califf said that if we let down our guard and don't do a good job reviewing, we're going to unleash some things that are really dangerous into the population. You know, unless there's some super plan, there's going to be an effect on safety because it takes whole teams of people to monitor safety of products. And the timetables for product review will be delayed hard.
What are they going to release onto the populace, like lions or something?
Yeah. Tigers from Africa.
T-Rex.
Yeah. So he goes on to say this is a sad and inhumane way to treat people. It's different when you're a company and you're out of money and you can't pay them. But the federal government can pay and do things in an orderly, respectable fashion. And to not have them end up in line trying to get work and have their bags not even, they can't even get their stuff, just locking them out. There's the powers that be, the people that actually are paying attention and know what's going on and how bad this could end up being are crying. The sky is falling, but they're not getting enough media attention right now in my book. And it's got to ramp up more. I think the liberal side of the media is just too bombarded with too many stories against the current administration and not enough of the how many Americans have lost their jobs under this administration already is not getting through, I don't think.
Yeah, that's just too much. Too many stories, not enough time.
And that's totally on purpose by the administration, because by flooding the message, there's no clear, in the message. It's just cacophony, chaos, right? You can't keep up.
Yeah.
But it's really bad. I predict that countries in the next little while will start really monitoring travel out of America due to disease control and health issues and stuff. You got measles outbreaks already in America, right? I mean, it's 2025. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. A big, what you call them, like, oh, I know, a wall. We'll build a wall around America.
Going to need a dome. It's going to be the USA show. Never mind Truman, right? You're all in it, So who are these guys?
Yeah, these are noisy buskers in Leicester Square. Yeah, I've been down Leicester Square, and I can say these buses are noisy as hell. But, a London judge has ruled that noisy buskers in Leicester Square are subjecting local office workers to psychological torture, forcing them to take extreme measures to escape from the relentless noise. Employees at Global Radio, home to LBC, Heart FM, and Classic FM, those channels you listen to all the time. They said the deafening and repetitive street performances outside their offices made it impossible to work. Some were forced to make phone calls in cupboards, while others struggled to hold conversations at their desks. So the noise is so intense, it even echoed into the office bathrooms. Woke up that Chinese girl that's living there. The Hippodrome Casino also joined the complaint with Chairman Simon Thomas, saying the music made it impossible to focus. What, gambling?
Where is this? Where is this? Whoville? What's going on?
It's right in the slap bag in the centre of London. A City of London Magistrates Court, the judge criticised Westminster Council for failing to act despite they got an act on, a Buskers Act, I don't know. But despite a long history of complaints, he ordered the council to clamp down on loud, repetitive performances even comparing the situation to psychological torture techniques used in interrogation.
Not if they're good. I mean, I understand if they suck, right? I get that. But if it's good, you probably have the radio on, right? You know?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Westminster Council promised to take action, but also vowed to protect Leicester Square's vibrant heritage of street performers. Yeah, but yeah. they are noisy, especially the ones you get where it's like a homeless guy and he's got a traffic cone. He's like hooting through it.
Oh yeah, we got a guy just around the corner at the one store I go to. He's there all the time, and he's got his little ukulele out, and it's at least he's smart enough. He doesn't sit on the ground. He has a stool, because if you sit on the ground with a ukulele annoying people, you're within kicking range. So
there was also a story a couple of years back outside one of the theatres in London where one of the famous actresses, I can't remember who it was now, but you have those guys who play like drums on like plastic buckets and bins. And the noise was actually coming through into the theatre and disturbing the performances. And she just went out and kicked right havoc with them.
Yeah.
It can get pretty bad in London, I can tell you.
Well, I know up in Canada, they got sick of this stuff too. And what happened was they give permits to certain people to have certain spots. And then that way, if it's a place that's subject to noise issues, they'll give somebody with a soft singing voice and stuff and that kind of thing. They do it properly, right? But it's still probably annoying to some, right? No.
Yeah, I've seen like entire rock bands turn up with great big fucking amps and everything.
Yeah. We used to do it in 1989, 1990 just to test out a new song. The whole band would go out and we just play somewhere, right? Well, why not? Okay, so let's see. You guys have probably had enough of the Trump administration and their folly. So how about DOGE? Sorry. But they gained access to a payroll system that processes salaries for about 276,000 federal employees across dozens of agencies. This is despite objections from senior IT staff who feared it would compromise highly sensitive government personal information and lead to cyber attacks. This all came out from the New York Times today. The system at the Interior Department gives DOGE visibility into sensitive employee information, such as social security numbers, and the ability to more easily hire and fire workers. DOGE workers had been trying to get access to the federal personnel and payroll system for about 2 weeks and succeeded over the weekend. The dispute came to head on Saturday as the DOGE workers obtained the access and then placed two of the IT officials who had resisted them on administrative leave and under investigation. They're under investigation by DOGE, not the people that they work for. Keep that in mind here. The agency's CIO and CISO are reportedly under investigation as well for their workplace behavior. When contacted by Ars Technica, the Interior Department said, "We are working to execute the president's directive to cut costs and make the government more efficient for the American people, and have taken actions to implement the president's executive orders." Blow it up your own ass. DOGE access to federal systems continues to grow despite court rulings that ordered the government to cut DOGE off from specific records, such as those held by the Social Security Administration, Treasury Department, Department of Education, and the Office of Personnel Management. And the new access at Interior allows at least two DOGE employees, Stephanie Holmes and Catherine Trampy? That's just too good. Don't blame me, honey. It's your parents' fault. But they're allowed to make changes to employee status, compensation levels, health benefits, and more, with no additional oversight or approval required. I just can't believe I'm watching this happen to a Democratic nation, my neighbor and friends. There was a memo written by senior career employees who objected to the DOGE access. Here it goes. Just a little snippet. Such elevated access to critical high-value asset systems is rare with respect to individual systems, and no single official presently has access to all HR, payroll, and credentialing systems. Not one. The memo also warned that individuals with the elevated access to the system could become prime targets for cybersecurity attacks by terrorist nations or other malicious actors. Typically, this kind of access requires training and certification at high levels, and without formal qualifications, the department may experience significant failure very quickly because of operational error. I can't even process how angry I would be over this crap as an American citizen. I would be that close to going full January 6th on their punk asses.
Yeah, I mean, you had me to execute the president. Oh no, that's not what he said. No. That's what I heard when you said it.
Yeah. It sounded like ice cream, but then you actually brought out the meatloaf. All right, Now, please tell me that's not what I think it is.
It is what you think it is.
No.
Yes. A Portland resident is searching for answers after repeatedly finding gallon-sized bottles of urine in his recycling bin.
How did you know it's urine?
Alex Van Duyn first noticed the problem in September when his recycling was left uncollected. And upon inspection, he discovered 6 large bottles of urine inside. Since urine is a biohazard, unless you like it as a tasty little drinky, the hauler refused to take it away, meaning the bin remained full. So despite his efforts to deter the culprit, such as not putting his bins out, the problem has persisted. The mystery individual simply switched to dumping urine bottles into his neighbor's garbage bins instead. So Van Duyn captured surveillance footage showing a man pulling up in a car, stepping out, and placing the bottles in the bin. However, the footage is too grainy to identify him. He has since shared his ordeal on the Nextdoor app, where neighbors have offered various theories, but the motivation behind the act just remains unknown. Nobody knows. Van Duyn has filed a police report and is working on capturing the man's license plate, which was also experimented with bin placement to improve surveillance footage. Despite the ordeal, Van Duyn is a resident of the neighborhood since 2006 and has no plans to move. The message to the unknown offender is simple. Please stop. Please.
Bugger off.
Just don't do it anymore, please.
So there's 2 things going on here. One of 2. Number 1, you've got somebody renting in the area that cannot afford what's going on. Their utilities have been cut, and as such, they've got to get rid of their urine. But number 2, it's probably somebody doing the van life, living in their car thing. This should not be hard to figure out, right?
Yeah, it's certainly not that Chinese girl living in the toilet, because she wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah. Oh man, that is some really disgusting stuff. If you want to bottle your urine, who am I to tell you not to? But don't give it out like Christmas gifts. What are you doing?
Set up a stall and sell it like lemonade. Chill it with ice.
I have a story for that I will not share. So now, this one was brought to my attention by our own Carpathian there, the AI alchemist that does a lot of our image work for us these days. A prominent computer scientist who has spent the last 20 years publishing academic papers on cryptography, privacy, cybersecurity, has gone completely incommunicado. He had his professor profile, email account, and phone number removed by his employer, Indiana University, and had his homes raided by the FBI, and nobody has a clue what's going on. So his name is Professor Wang. I'm not trying his first name. He's got a long list of prestigious titles. He was the Associate Dean for Research at Indiana University's Luddy School of Informatics, Computing and Engineering. He was a fellow at the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers and the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and a tenured professor at Indiana University at Bloomington. So tenured, like this, he's not just some punk ass guy, right? In recent weeks, Wang's email account, phone number, and profile page at Luddy School were quietly erased by the school itself. Over the same time, Indiana University also removed a profile for his wife, who was listed as lead systems analyst and programmer at the university's library technologies division. A small fleet of unmarked cars driven by government agents descended on the Bloomington home of Wang and his wife on Friday. They spent most of the day going in and out of the house and occasionally transferred boxes from to their vehicles. A second home owned by the couple, located in Carmel, Indiana, was also searched. Attempts to locate Wang and his wife have been completely unsuccessful, and Indiana spokesperson didn't answer a contact request, but instead provided the information for a spokesperson at the FBI's field office in Indianapolis. And that spokesperson from the FBI said they conducted a court-authorized law enforcement activity at the homes in Bloomington and Carmel on Friday, and they have no further comment at this time. Now, I've also got some quotes here from a few people that know him, and they're like, none of this is normal. You know, has anyone been in contact? I hear he's been missing for 2 weeks, and his students can't reach him either. How does this not get noticed? And then there was another guy, Matt Blaze, professor for computer science and law at Georgetown University. He said, it's hard to imagine what reason there could be for the university to scrub its website as if he never worked there. And while there is a process for removing tenured faculty, it takes more than an afternoon to do it. There's something really screwed up in this story. We're going to keep an eye on it.
Strange.
Yeah, man, this ain't right, you know. I was
wondering if it's a kind of like, you know, a spy, you know, if they thought he was a spy or something.
Yeah.
Come under the CIA, not the FBI, surely.
Yeah, it's so strange that it's the FBI, not the CIA, because then you could start to make reasons for it to make sense, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it either, man. That's weird. It's a really strangely not direct story to interpret. It's going to be very I can't wait to get more information on this.
Yes, and well, if you wanted a story that's not straight and direct, we move on to drivers in Montgomery Township are navigating unusual new road design aimed at slowing down traffic. But
what?
Many
residents this is on purpose.
It's not like they painted the white lines, or there's traffic cones there. I'll just go around them. I can't bother to move. But yeah, no, a township recently painted curved yellow and white lines along 2 blocks of Grays Lane to combat speeding. The police department, responding to residents' concerns, said the measures was developed in consultation with traffic engineers. Additional signage and safety devices called delineators will be added soon. God knows what they are. But however, some drivers are just simply ignoring the design altogether.
Right? I was just going to say, who looking at this right now wouldn't just drive straight down the right-hand lane or the left-hand lane like that?
Slalom, left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
Could you imagine? Sorry, honey, but this is a really tricky road. I can't talk now.
Yeah, right now everyone is just driving through the middle of it. So the resident Lauren Chesterton, many residents were caught off guard with the sudden change. They were literally out here yesterday and just put it up, said Mike Lorenzo. People are coming out of their houses asking what's going on.
It looks like exactly. It looks like a couple of wasted guys did the night shift with the paint truck, man.
Yeah, criticism from locals has been very strong. They think, I think it's an eyesore. I think it's ridiculous. It's awkward. It's weird. I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
I've yet to hear one person happy about this. Yeah.
Cost me $20 in alcohol just to be able to drive down that road and have it make sense.
I mean, police are standing by the decision. Some residents argue that a simpler proving measures like speed bumps would be more effective. But this is not the design to go with. De Lorenzo says there are other options out there. Yeah, they're all just fighting about it. It's just stupid. But there's some guy called Whack Off said if it works, it works.
Yeah, but to fix this now, you can do that thing where you just use that black stuff to go over the lines and then repaint them. But you're going to see that it was still there. They're literally going to have to
Sharpie.
yeah, but they're going to have to do a light coating of tarmac over the whole thing to make it look proper if they decide this is as dumb as it looks.
It is daft. I just don't get it.
I know.
I don't get it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for now, the community waits to see if the township will reconsider or if drivers will eventually adapt to the zigzagging lines.
Yeah. Yeah. Children come home from school sick because the bus is doing this fucking shit. Okay. Now, before we're done here, let me get this one in quick. No, that is not what's his name from Game of Thrones and the movie Pixels. What's his name again?
Dinklage.
What?
Dinklage.
Yeah. That's the guy who Dinklage is modeled after for the movie Pixels. And his name is Billy Mitchell. Now, he was the king of Kong. See, he's with Donkey Kong there. He had some high scores on some website called Galaxy Arcade or whatever it's called. They're the ones that track the world records for old games, right? Now, this guy was proved to be a cheat, and he got his records stripped.
Ooh.
But what happened was this punk-ass YouTuber that just didn't know when to quit, what's his name here? Where is it? Benjamin.
Oh, he's shouting out little channels.
yeah. But he what he did was this guy named Jobst, Jobst, had a YouTube channel, and he had a video with 500,000 subs calling this guy out for being a cheat. But he went too far.
Oh.
And he used like hearsay and not real evidence in his video, really making this guy look like a POS. So what did this dude do? And remember, he is a cheater, right?
And a POS.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at him. He's got a fucking mullet. I mean, Jesus Christ. But he sued him. And this Australian YouTuber, who's not a huge YouTuber, so this is going to hurt, lost the lawsuit in the number of $300,000. Boom.
God, wait a minute. He's Australian.
Yeah.
How did that? Which court did it go to? An Australian court.
Yeah, he probably sued him in Australia, right? That's what you got to do, right? You know, right? Wow. Yeah. So Mitchell.
Now that's what you call a kangaroo court.
Yeah. Good call. But yeah, so I mean, even though he was a cheat and a liar and everything, you can't go too far in your little world of YouTubing because, wow, can it bite you in the ass and cost you? I'm listening to myself right now. Yes, I realize that. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, you know, he definitely won the game on that one. I still think the guy's a cheating asshole, but who cares? Whatever. It's not like I even give a rat's ass.
Yeah, our lawyers say you got to say allegedly.
Allegedly, that's right. Yeah. Allegedly, he, you know, plays
knob.
Gobbler. We're out of here. Thanks for joining us. Hit like, share, and subscribe.
And go to the comments and say something outrageous.
About Billy Mitchell.
Take your knickers off. Yeah. Bye.